Has it ever happened to you that you enter your house and, instead of feeling peace, you only see disorder, accumulation of things, and an energy that overwhelms you? That feeling that no matter how much you clean and organize, everything stays the same. That your home, that place that should be your refuge, has become yet another source of stress. And the worst part is that you don't even know where to start. Today I want to tell you about a concept that changed the way thousands of people live in their homes. A method that is not just about tidying up, but about transforming your environment, your daily life, and your well-being. It's called Lagom, it comes from Sweden, and it means not too much, not too little, just right. It's that perfect balance that makes us feel good without excess, without lack. Imagine waking up in the morning and your house is clear, that everything has its place, that you don't feel overwhelmed as soon as you open your eyes. That you don't waste time looking for things or cleaning spaces you don't even use. That's Lagom. It's not extreme minimalism, nor filling your house with expensive decorations. It's having what you need, what makes you happy, and nothing more. I'm going to share with you 11 very simple and practical ways to apply Lagom in your home starting today, without spending money, without complicating your life. First, do conscious cleaning. And I want you to really understand what this means, because it's not the typical cleaning where you take everything out of a closet, make a pile on the floor, and start sorting what you haven't used in the last year. That formula is fine to start, but conscious cleaning goes much further. It's about stopping in front of every object in your house and asking yourself questions you normally don't ask. It's not just about usefulness, but about purpose and well-being. When you take that vase, that old scarf, those papers kept in a box for years, ask yourself, why do I still have this? What feeling does seeing it provoke in me? Does it bring me joy? Does it remind me of something beautiful? Does it fulfill a function in my life? If the answer is no, let it go. Don't cling to things out of obligation or fear of regretting it. Because as long as your house is full of things that mean nothing, broken objects, gifts you never liked, or things you keep just in case, that space will never be able to breathe. And if your house doesn't breathe, neither do you. And yes, I know it's not easy. Sometimes there are hidden guilt feelings attached to things. That expensive dress you never wore, that decoration someone special gave you but you don't like, those books you promised to read but you know you won't. Lagom teaches you to accept that it's okay to let go. That the value of a memory is not in the object, but in what it meant. Do this cleaning in small zones. Don't try to do the whole house in one day because you'll get overwhelmed and end up putting everything back again. Start with a drawer, a shelf, a rack. Take each thing with your hands and feel what it makes you feel. If it generates discomfort, guilt, or indifference, it doesn't have to keep taking up space in your life. And here comes the most important part. Don't throw everything in the trash. Give it away, donate, recycle. There are objects that maybe no longer have a place in your home, but can be useful to someone else. That is also part of the balance that Lagom proposes. Getting rid of what you don't need consciously and responsibly. When you start practicing this cleaning from this place, you will be surprised at how much emotional weight is released. Because it's not just physical clutter, it's mental load. Everything you keep without reason occupies a small space in your head. And little by little that accumulates. That's why you feel so exhausted in your own house without understanding why. Do this cleaning without hurry but without pause. And every time you finish an area, take a moment to observe how that space feels now. It's very likely you perceive it lighter, more harmonious, as if it suddenly breathes better. That is Lagom in action. It's not an empty house, it's a house with meaning. With things that add to you, not that weigh you down. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Because you start to get used to questioning what you let into your home. And one day, without realizing it, you won't have to do massive cleanings anymore because everything around you will already have a real reason to be there. That's the power of conscious cleaning. It's not just tidying up. It's reconciling with your space, with yourself, and with the way you choose to live. Before continuing, as always, I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet and support the video with a like. As a gift, in the video description and in the first pinned comment, I will leave you a daily organization planner for an impeccable home 100% free. I hope you make good use of it. Second, apply the rule 1 in, 1 out. And although it sounds simple, This rule is one of the most powerful to prevent your house from overflowing again after a good cleaning. Because the real problem is not just what you already have accumulated, but what you keep letting in without realizing it. Every time you bring a new object to your home, whether it's a decoration, a kitchen utensil, a piece of clothing, a plant, a scented candle, or even a notebook, that object occupies physical space, but also mental space. And if you don't balance it by letting go of something that no longer contributes to you, little by little, without noticing, you will fall back into saturation. The beauty of this rule is that it forces you to think before buying. It makes you more aware of your decisions. Because it's not the same to buy a pretty lamp on impulse if you know that when you get home you'll have to choose another lamp, or maybe that decoration on the shelf, to let go of. That's where the criteria starts to activate. You start asking yourself, do I really need this? Is it worth replacing something I already have? And if you decide yes, then do it immediately. Don't postpone it for later. If you bought a new towel, take out that old towel you don't use anymore, that is worn out and has been stored for months just in case. If you bought a beautiful vase, then choose one you have at home to give away or donate. This habit keeps you in constant balance. It doesn't allow things to accumulate because for every item that comes in, one must go out. It's like a revolving door. There can only be the right number of things inside, neither more nor less. And keep in mind, this doesn't mean you can't have beautiful things, nor that you have to live with the bare minimum. It means that every object you choose to keep or add to your home must have a reason, a function, or real emotional value for you. Nothing should occupy space just because. Also, this practice helps you develop detachment and stop accumulating out of fear or habit. Because many times we keep things we no longer use just because they still work, they might be needed someday, or they were expensive. But if you haven't needed them in months, it's very likely you won't need them later either. And here you can also make it fun, turning it into a kind of game or family ritual. If someone brings something new home, everyone thinks about what goes out. It even works with kids. If a new toy arrives, another must leave to be donated to a child who really needs it. And you don't know how good it feels when you see your home staying tidy effortlessly, simply because you learned to regulate what you let in. It's a small rule, but with immense impact. It protects you from feeling overwhelmed by your space again, from filling yourself with things that only take up room, and it helps you keep only what adds harmony and well-being to your home. Practice this for a few weeks and you will notice how your house stays light, organized, and much easier to enjoy. Third, limit decorations to a few that truly inspire you. And here I want you to really stop and think about what that means. Because without realizing it, probably in your home, on every surface, there is an accumulation of decorations, souvenirs, travel keepsakes, little gifts, half-used candles, empty little vases, photo frames with pictures you don't even look at, decorative figurines someone gave you and you kept out of obligation. And like that, without noticing, your spaces fill up with things that don't add anything. And the worst part is we believe that's what makes a house beautiful. That a shelf full of decorations makes it cozy. That a table loaded with details makes it warm. No. The only thing you achieve is visual noise. That silent noise you don't hear, but that weighs on you. That tires you. That overwhelms. Because when there are too many things in front of your eyes, your mind can't relax. It's always processing all that. The Lagom method teaches you that less is better, but not from the cold minimalism that sometimes seems to force you to live in an empty house. No. Here it's about choosing with love, with intention. Having less, but everything that is there makes sense. That it provokes a beautiful emotion when you see it. That it inspires peace, tenderness, joy. Imagine a shelf with 4 or 5 well-chosen objects. A small plant that breathes life, a candle with a scent that makes you feel calm, a frame with a photo that truly moves you when you look at it, a pretty stone or a handcrafted object that connects you to a nice memory, and a book you love. Nothing more. And everything else, out. Stop feeling obligated to fill empty spaces. Because emptiness also has its beauty. A space without things allows the few things that are there to stand out, to shine, to have prominence. And you, being in that environment, feel a natural lightness. Do the exercise right now. Choose a shelf in your home, or a table, or a bookcase. Look at it with new eyes. Ask yourself, what of all this really makes me feel something beautiful? What do I like to see every day? What transmits calm, joy, or inspiration to me? Keep only that. Everything else, store it, give it away, or get rid of it. If you don't miss it in a week, it's because you never really needed it. And it's not about deleting memories. If there are things important to you, find a special place where you can truly appreciate them, not piled up among meaningless objects. Because when you have decorations everywhere, even valuable objects get lost. They stop having strength. They stop standing out. The Lagom method tells you, let your spaces breathe. Let there be visual order. Let everything have a reason to be where it is. And you will be surprised by what happens. Daily cleaning becomes easier. Dust doesn't accumulate on 1,000 tiny things you have to move to clean. Your furniture looks more elegant. Your house feels bigger without needing to be enlarged. And you feel lighter. Because living surrounded by unnecessary things is exhausting. Maybe you don't realize it, but every object in your visual field sends a signal to your mind. It reminds you of tasks, creates microtensions, steals your attention. And that adds up. A lot. When you reduce your decorations to just a few you really love, something changes. Your house starts to reflect who you are, not a mix of inherited things, impulse buys, or guilt-kept items. Start little by little. Do it by zones. Enjoy the process. Take each object and think, does it inspire me? Does it make me smile? Does it provoke peace? If not, let it go. It's not losing, it's gaining space, clarity, and balance. And believe me, when you see that shelf clean, with only 3 or 4 things you love, you'll ask yourself why you didn't do it before. Because that's when you truly understand what it means to live light, live calmly, live with purpose. That is Lagom. Without excess. Without lack. Just enough, what's necessary, and everything that makes you feel good. Fourth, organize by categories and not by rooms. And here I want to stop with you because this small shift in perspective completely transforms how you tidy and clean your home. For years, we've been told that the best way to organize is room by room. First the bedroom, then the kitchen, then the bathroom. But the problem with doing it that way is that you never realize how much you really have of each thing. Because in every room there are hidden duplicate objects, forgotten things, little piles of disorder disguised as order. When you organize by categories, your perspective becomes much clearer, more alert. You realize how many identical or similar items you've accumulated without even noticing. And you don't just see it, you feel it. Because when you gather, for example, all the papers in the house, the ones from the desk, the kitchen, your bag, the just-in-case drawer, receipts from 2 years ago, warranties for appliances you no longer have, kids' drawings, old letters, paid bills, brochures, and place them all together on a table or the floor, seeing them all at once hits you. You ask yourself, how is it possible I have so much paper lying around? And here something important happens. You can make decisions with greater clarity. Because you see everything at once. You're not throwing away random things piece by piece, nor making fragmented decisions. You see the real scale, and that forces you to take responsibility for it. The same goes for clothes. Don't start by tidying the bedroom closet, then the coat rack by the door, and then the bathroom drawers. Gather all the clothes in the house. Yes, all of them. Yours, the kids, loose scarves, old t-shirts, stored costumes, the clothes in the car, everything. Make a big pile. When you see how many garments you have, many of which you didn't even remember, I guarantee something inside you will click. And that's when the real work begins, honestly deciding what stays and what goes. Not from the comfort of, well, here there are only a few things, better leave them, but from a real awareness of how much you own and how much of that you truly use or need. Do the same with kitchen utensils. Don't just organize the cutlery drawer or the pantry. Take everything out, spoons, knives, cutting boards, cups, glasses, baking molds, small appliances, spice jars, everything. Because you probably have 2 or 3 potato peelers, duplicated ladles, cookie molds you never used, and chipped mugs you keep out of habit. When you group by categories, you organize at the root. You truly eliminate what's unnecessary. You become aware of your shopping habits, your absurd attachments, your fears of what if I need it someday. Also, you avoid having the same things in different places. Because when you organize by rooms, It's easy to leave a pair of scissors in each room, just in case. Or have envelopes in one desk drawer, others in the kitchen, and more in the bedroom. When everything is together, you discover how many duplicates you have and which ones deserve to stay. This method also lets you optimize space. Because once you decide what to keep, you know exactly how many things you have in each category and can think, okay, for kitchen utensils I only need this drawer, not two. For papers, one neat folder is enough, not 5 scattered envelopes. And the best part, you reduce future clutter. Because once your home is organized by categories and you know how many objects of each type you have, anything new that comes in will have a clear placer simply won't enter if you already have enough. So forget about, today I'll tidy the bedroom, tomorrow the kitchen. No. Pick one category. Just one. Any you want. And take care of it from start to finish. You'll see a dramatic difference in how your home and mind feel afterward. You'll understand why this principle is one of the most important in the Lagom method. It helps you regain control over your things and yourself. It gives you lightness, space, and serenity. 5th, create small daily tidying rituals. And don't imagine anything complicated or exhausting. We're talking about simple, almost invisible gestures that, repeated every day, completely change the feeling of your home and mind. Because clutter doesn't appear all at once, it sneaks in little by little. Those things we leave on the table for later, the cup left in the living room, the open book on the couch, papers piling up next to the phone, clothes draped over a chair. Details, yes. But details that, added up, turn your home into a place that weighs you down and overwhelms you without you realizing it. The Lagom method suggests combating this with small daily rituals. The key is not to let clutter accumulate. Because clutter ignored for one day becomes a mountain by the 3rd and an emotional nightmare by the 7th. That's why, before going to sleep, spend 5 or 10 minutes no more calmly walking through your home, in silence if you want, while others are resting or you disconnect from the day. Pick up loose items left out of place. That scarf on the chair, toys on the rug, the cup left by the sofa, the letter left on the table. Don't look for deep cleaning at that hour, just return each thing to its place. And if something has no place, that's a sign it's excess or that you need to assign it a spot. Turn off the lights in rooms you're not using. Straighten the sofa cushions. Close drawers. Wash any dishes left in the sink. Fold the blanket you used. These are almost automatic gestures that take no time but done daily, prevent chaos from settling in. And it's not just about having a tidy house when you wake up. It's about what that triggers inside you. Waking up in a home where everything is in its place changes the energy of your day. It makes you feel light, calm, and in control of your environment. Because the first space you see when you open your eyes is not a collection of unfinished tasks or a reminder of what you didn't do. It's a clear, harmonious environment. And that harmony carries over to your mind. Moreover, these small rituals teach you to value your space. To treat your home as a refuge, not a storage for stuff. Because when you care for it daily, without letting clutter build up, your home becomes a place that embraces you, calms you, and restores serenity after exhausting days. You can even turn that moment into something personal and beautiful. Put on some soft music, light a scented candle, take your time. Let it be your conscious closing of the day. A way to thank your space, to honor it. Not as just another obligation, but as a treat for yourself. And you'll see that by doing this daily, you won't need to spend entire afternoons tidying up later. Because mess won't pile up anymore. Because order becomes part of the house's natural rhythm. And above all, because you learn to live with less, with just enough, with what you truly need, and to maintain that balance effortlessly. So start tonight. Just 5 minutes. Just pick up what's out of place. Just put everything back where it belongs. And tomorrow, wake up and notice how the feeling in your home changes. That small gesture will be one of the most powerful things you do for your well-being without even realizing it. Because it's not just about tidying. It's calm. It's respect for yourself. It's care. It's Lagom. 6th, decorate with neutral colors and natural materials. And here it's not about following a trend or having a magazine-worthy home. It's about understanding how the colors and materials around you affect your mood, your stress level, and the way you breathe in your own home. Because even if you don't consciously notice it, everything around you influences how you feel. The tones, textures, shapes, all have a silent but deep impact. The Lagom method knows this, which is why it prioritizes soft, neutral colors that don't tire your eyes or overwhelm your mind. Colors like off-white, beige, light gray, sand tones, soft olive green, ash blue. Colors that don't invade or demand. Colors that accompany and relax, that let you breathe when you enter a room. Because too much vibrant color, strong patterns, and harsh contrasts can overwhelm you without you realizing it. On the other hand, a neutral palette brings serenity. And that serenity stays with you in your skin, in your mind, and follows you when you sit down to read, eat, or rest. The same goes for materials. Lagom suggests returning to essentials, to natural elements. Wood without too many shiny treatments. Linen, cotton, ceramic, rattan, wicker. Textures that connect you to simplicity, to authenticity. Because it's not the same to rest your hands on a warm wooden table as on a cold plastic surface. It's not the same to wrap yourself in a soft cotton blanket than in a synthetic fabric that doesn't breathe. These are details, yes, but those details build the daily experience of living in a home. And you don't need big investments for that. You can start small. Change cushion covers to natural fabrics and light tones. Replace plastic decorations with a simple handcrafted ceramic vase. Swap heavy dark curtains for linen or light gauze that lets natural light in. Add a plant in a clay pot or a wicker basket for blankets. Small changes that transform far more than you imagine. Plus, these materials age well. Wood gains character over time. Ceramics keep their texture. Linen becomes softer with washes. These are objects that don't just decorate but integrate into your home life. They accompany you. They don't need constant replacement. And that's also Lagom, choosing things that last, adapt, and don't give you anxiety about having to replace them every season. And even more importantly, when you reduce visual clutter, those colorful, shiny, unrelated objects, and choose a neutral palette and natural materials, the space feels bigger, lighter. Even a small home seems to breathe better. The spaces connect with each other, and everything becomes more harmonious. Because Lagom doesn't look for impersonal homes, it looks for lived-in but light homes. Homes that care for those who live in them. That return calm to you when you walk through the door after a hectic day. That don't overwhelm you with unnecessary stimuli. That become your refuge, your pause. So look around. Ask yourself what colors dominate, what materials you touch every day. And start adjusting little by little, without rushing. Change one thing, then another. Add a natural texture here, soften a tone there. And you'll see how the atmosphere changes. How it changes you. Because when your home breathes calm, so do you. And that's when Lagom stops being just a nice idea and becomes a way of life that you feel. 7th, value empty space. This may be one of the hardest concepts to grasp for those of us who grew up thinking a beautiful home is a full home. Fill walls, fill shelves, fill tables. As if the value of a home lies in how many things we can display in it. And without realizing it, we turn our refuge into a catalog of objects competing with each other, cluttering the view and stealing our calm. Lagom proposes exactly the opposite. It teaches you to respect and value empty space. To understand that a wall without pictures isn't an incomplete wall. It's a surface that allows light to bounce, lets the eyes rest, lets the space breathe. Because emptiness isn't absence, it's balance. It's visual pause. It's that breath between one object and another, between one texture and another. And in that pause lies the key to a home that transmits calm. Think of a room you love. Now imagine every wall covered in pictures, every shelf stuffed with decorations, every corner occupied by something. It might feel cozy at first, but over time it starts feeling dense. And when that happens, the first symptom is that your mind gets tired. Because the human eye needs pauses. And where there's no pause, there's overload. That's why Lagom suggests leaving free spaces deliberately. A wall without decoration, a shelf with just 2 or 3 meaningful objects, a table with nothing on it except a candle or a small plant. And not because things are missing, but because you consciously chose to leave space. Empty space allows what you do choose to have to truly stand out. A single picture on a clean wall becomes a statement. A single plant on a clear shelf transforms into a point of calm. And you get used to noticing those details more consciously, truly appreciating them, because they are not competing with anything else. Moreover, empty spaces have something deeply therapeutic. They create a sense of order even when the house isn't spotless. They give room, allowing things to settle mentally. Because not everything needs to be filled, neither in your home nor in your life. And if you ever feel the urge to fill that gap, ask yourself, do I really need it? Or is it just a cultural discomfort with emptiness? Often we buy things because we can't stand seeing a free space. Because we were taught that a house without decorations is sad or cold. But Lagom shows that a home with empty spaces breathes, embraces, and calms you. Start with a small place. A shelf, a small table, a wall. Leave an empty space. Don't fill it. Let it be. Observe it for a few days. Notice how it feels to enter that space. Notice how your relationship changes with the other things you have left. And little by little, you'll realize that emptiness is not uncomfortable. It's beautiful. It's necessary. Because a house with empty spaces is a house where there's room to move, to think, to breathe. And calm sneaks in through that space. So don't be afraid to leave corners undecorated, surfaces without objects, walls without pictures. Beauty lives there too. Well-being is built there too. Lagom lives there too. 8th, prioritize functionality over quantity. This might seem like a simple tip, but it's one of the most powerful and freeing transformations you can make in your home. For years we've been sold the idea that having more means having better. More appliances in the kitchen, more accessories in the bathroom, more clothes in the closet, more things in the living room. As if filling every space were a sign of success or good organization. But the truth is, that silent accumulation is one of the biggest causes of everyday stress. Lagom teaches us to prioritize functionality, what truly adds value to our daily life. It's not about living with the bare minimum, but living with what's necessary. And what you have should really serve you, work well, and simplify your life. Think about the kitchen. How many appliances do you have that only take up space? The sandwich maker you used 3 times, the electric juicer that does the same as a manual one, the blender that collects dust because you prefer to mix by hand. All those things take up room, require maintenance, and steal mental space without you realizing it. Lagom proposes keeping only what you really use. If you cook every day, maybe a good blender, a non-stick pan, a pot that works for everything. The essential and functional. Not what you might use someday. The bathroom is the same. Drawers full of nearly empty bottles, creams you bought on impulse, perfumes you never wear, too many towels. Why? They only create clutter, dust, and visual chaos. Keep what you use daily and what you truly enjoy. A cream you like the scent of. A perfume that represents you. 2 well-kept, soft towels instead of 8 old, mismatched ones. The closet is another battlefield. It's not about having less clothes just to have less, but keeping what you really wear, fits well, and makes you feel comfortable. Why keep that dress you don't love but was expensive? Or those pants you no longer fit but keep just in case? Every piece you keep without using occupies physical and emotional space. When you prioritize functionality, you decide to keep only what serves you, what fits the life you have today, not the one you had years ago or the one you might have. The same applies to furniture, decorations, tools. You don't need 5 pairs of scissors, nor 14 cups if 3 people live in your house. You don't need to decorate every corner just because there's an available space. Lagom invites you to choose with intention. If you're going to have something, it should be because it truly serves a function and improves your daily life. And here's the trick. When you stop accumulating unnecessary things, spaces become lighter, easier to clean, more pleasant to live in. Decisions get simpler. Finding your keys, preparing food, choosing what to wear. Everything flows better because invisible clutter stops existing. Also, prioritizing functionality means investing in quality over quantity. Better to have 1 good pot than 3 mediocre ones. Better to have a set of soft, durable sheets than 4 cheap sets that wear out in 2 washes. It's not about spending more, it's about spending better with awareness. So before buying something, ask yourself, do I really need this? Will I use it? Will it make my life easier? And before keeping something, ask yourself the same questions. If the answer is no, let it go. Because a functional home is a calmer home. And a calm home is a home that cares for you, not demands from you. That's Lagom. Ninth, consume with intention. This principle is one of the deepest in Lagom, because it's not just about not buying too much, but about changing the way you relate to things and the act of consumption itself. We live in a culture where buying has become an automatic response to almost everything. You're sad, you buy. You reward yourself, you buy. You see an irresistible deal, you buy. As if filling your home with new things could fill emotional gaps or solve discomforts that really have nothing to do with objects. Lagom invites you to slow down that autopilot, to question yourself before every purchase. Not just if you need it, but why you feel the need to have it. Ask yourself uncomfortable questions. Is it because it will truly solve a problem at home? Or because you're bored, stressed, or tempted by a promotion? This level of personal honesty is liberating because it makes you aware of how many times you fill your home and empty your wallet due to momentary impulses. Also, when you consume intentionally, your choices change. You no longer buy a decorative candle just because it's trendy, but because you like its scent and it will truly bring warmth to a corner of your home. You don't grab another cushion for the sofa just because it was on sale, but because it matches your space and serves a purpose. Every object that enters your home should have a real reason to be there, and not become a visual, emotional, or financial burden. This also connects you with the idea of postponing a purchase. If you see something you like, don't take it immediately. Think about it, imagine it in your home, check if it really has a place, a function, or meaning. If after a few days it still seems like a good idea, go ahead. If you forget about it, it was just impulse. And there's another advantage that few people mention. When you consume intentionally, you start to enjoy what you already have more. Because you stop being in acquire mode and start living in appreciate mode. You notice the value of that set of cups you bought years ago, the blanket that accompanies you on cold nights, that lamp that perfectly lights your favorite corner. You stop looking at your home as a list of things that are missing, and start seeing it as a space that supports you. Plus, you take care of your wallet. Because how many times do we end up buying things we don't even use, that break quickly, don't match, or take up space? Money that could have been invested in experiences, repairing something, improving what we already have, or simply not spent at all. Lagom teaches that spending less is not about deprivation, but about choosing better. Having less, but having it well. Even when it comes to decoration, it suggests that it's better to buy one beautiful, timeless piece than many cheap trinkets that last briefly. A good quality lamp, a plant that lasts for years, a painting you truly love. And that philosophy is not only reflected in material things, but in how you feel. Because it takes away the weight of impulsive buying and gives you back control over your space, your finances, and your peace of mind. So next time something tempts you in a store or on social media, pause for a moment. Breathe. Ask yourself, do I need this? Does it have a purpose in my home? Do I really need it, or is it just a distraction from something else? And in that pause, you are already practicing Lagom. Because consuming with intention is also a way to take care of yourself. 10th, create corners to disconnect. In the frantic rhythm of daily life, especially when you're in charge of the household, it's easy to feel trapped in a non-stop routine, where every corner is dedicated to some task, chore, or storage. But Lagom reminds you that your home is not just for functioning, it's also for living peacefully, for recharging, for finding those moments of calm that you so deeply need. That's why creating corners to disconnect isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It doesn't have to be a large or complicated space. It can be as simple as a comfortable armchair placed near a window that lets in natural light, a place where you can sit to read, listen to music, or simply look outside and let your mind rest. Add details that appeal to your senses and invite you to stay a while. An aromatic candle with a soft fragrance like lavender or eucalyptus, which helps create a relaxing and cozy atmosphere. A plant, because green always brings life, freshness, and a point of connection to nature that soothes the soul. Even a soft blanket you can wrap yourself in while you take that moment for yourself. The important thing is that this corner is designed for you, for your pauses, for those minutes where you allow yourself to stop and take a deep breath. It can be in the bedroom, the living room, a corner of the dining room, or even a balcony. The essential part is that it's a space without distractions, without the constant noise of the phone or television, where you can simply be present. This corner becomes your refuge within your home, a place you can go to when stress, worries, or fatigue overwhelm you. A space designed to calm, not to fill. That reminds you that in the middle of the busyness, it's okay to stop. That allows you to reconnect with yourself and recharge your energy to keep going. Also, creating these spaces helps balance the overall atmosphere of your home. When you have a specific place to disconnect, the rest of the house can stay more orderly and functional, because you don't try to do everything everywhere. Each space has a clear purpose, and that also reduces the feeling of chaos. And the best part is that by creating such a corner, you give a gift to your entire family. You teach them that taking care of oneself is just as important as taking care of the home. That rest and calm are part of a balanced and happy life. So start small. Find a place you like, place an armchair or a comfortable chair, soft lighting, a plant, something that makes you feel good. Try sitting there even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Little by little, that corner will become your little personal sanctuary, a refuge of calm that will help you live Lagom every moment. And 11th, involve your family. Because Lagom is not just a way to organize your space or a method for you alone. It's a lifestyle that truly works when everyone at home understands it and practices it together. It makes no sense for you to strive to maintain a light, orderly, and stress-free home if others keep accumulating things uncontrollably, leaving mess, or spending without intention. Harmony is built as a team. Start by sitting down with your family and calmly and sincerely explaining what Lagom means. Not too much, not too little, just enough to live well. That it's not about deprivation or having an empty home, but about finding that balance that lets you enjoy more, without stress or excess. That every object, every purchase, every space should have a purpose and contribute to that shared well-being. Invite them to participate in the process of reviewing belongings, deciding together what to keep, what to donate or give away, and what to let go. When everyone takes part, a collective awareness is created that makes organizing easier and reduces resistance. Also, teaching children this approach from an early age will help them develop healthy habits that will serve them for life, from valuing what they have to avoiding impulsive consumerism. Make home maintenance a shared task, with small daily rituals where everyone tidies their own space, puts away their belongings, and respects common areas. This not only lightens your load, but also strengthens the sense of responsibility and mutual respect. You can also establish clear limits together. For example, a simple rule like for every new item that comes in, another must go out, or decide how many toys, clothes, or utensils are enough. This shouldn't be seen as a rule imposed from above, but as a way to care for the home and improve everyone's quality of life. The most important thing is to do this through dialogue, patience, and leading by example. If you live Lagom authentically, showing how it makes you feel good, the motivation will be natural and contagious. And over time, that balance will become part of the family's daily life, making the home a space of calm, order, and shared happiness. Because a light and stress-free home is not achieved just by cleaning or throwing things away, but by building habits, values, and a family culture that embraces Lagom as a way to live better together. Remember, Lagom is not about having less out of obligation or living in austerity. It's much deeper than that. It's about having enough to live well, to enjoy your home without it becoming a burden, without it overwhelming or exhausting you. It's a fair balance, no excess that clutters your spaces, no lack that limits you. The idea is that every item in your home adds value, comfort, and joy, without stealing your energy or time. If today you feel your home weighs you down, drains your energy, or causes stress or anxiety every time you enter, you're not alone. Many homemakers experience that constant feeling of exhaustion, as if they were carrying an invisible weight accumulated among furniture, objects, papers, and scattered memories. But here's the good news. You don't need to move somewhere else or invest in expensive furniture or massive remodels to change that. The secret is in changing the way you choose what surrounds you, how you decide what stays and what goes, and how you connect with your space. You can start small, without letting the idea of doing the whole house at once overwhelm you. Pick a drawer that's always messy, a shelf that collects things you don't use, or a room that looks chaotic. Take some time to calmly review it, without rush or judgment. Ask yourself, does this serve me? Does it make me happy? Or is it just taking up space and stealing my peace? By making conscious decisions, without hurry, you gradually regain control over your home and, most importantly, over how you feel in it. You'll see it's not just a physical change, it's an emotional and mental change. As your home clears out, so do your internal burdens, worries, and built-up tension. And before you know it, you'll regain that feeling of home you deserve so much, that place that embraces you, calms you, inspires you, and gives you energy to keep going. This process is not a quick goal nor an unattainable perfection, but a journey built step by step, day by day, with patience and kindness toward yourself and your space. And you don't have to do it alone. If you want, subscribe and join me on this journey to transform your home with simple, practical, and meaningful ideas. Because your home doesn't have to be perfect or look like a catalog, it just has to make you happy, comfortable, and light. That's Lagom, and it's within your reach.